Hi everyone and welcome to episode 2 of Belgian Boys Euro Trip with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. This is my chance to take on the Euros with Belgium and see if we can finally bring a trophy back with us for the Belgian population. Today we get to play Russia in our second group match. Let's see how we get on. So welcome back to my attempt at the Euros with Belgium. The first game went really well, all things considered, considering we're just getting used to playing together in a new setup for them. And we won 2-1 against Finland, so not too bad at all. Today we get Russia, which will be a challenging game itself. But before we do that, I was very remiss yesterday, and I should have done this yesterday in the first episode, but I want to give a huge shout out to Dodgy Gamer. If you go and find Dodgy Gamer on Twitter or YouTube and the like, that's the guy who put this database together for us to play in the Euros with all of the correct teams in each of the groups, etc., and all of the structures for us to play it. And so, Dodgy Gamer, thank you ever so much for this. I will have given him a shout out on Twitter earlier today as well before you watch this, etc. So hopefully that appeases everything from yesterday, because it was totally my error. I should have shouted him out then and forgot to do so. So Dodgy Gamer, you're a legend. This one's for you, buddy. In we go with Belgium again. Second group stage. You can see that currently, if we go and have a look at our group, we are sitting in second place after the first game because Denmark got a bag load of goals against Russia. So we've kind of got to do the same if possible today, haven't we? And keep up with Denmark as much as is possible for that clinching decider match in the next group stage game that will happen in tomorrow's episode. For today, though, it's all about Russia. And we have made a couple of changes to the first team for today. Primarily, it's about protecting some of the players because of conditioning issues. If we go to the bench, for example, you'll see that both Tielemans and Carrasco are slightly down on their conditioning compared to everybody else. And I'm taking no chances in this competition in this early stage. I think we can deal with Russia potentially today with some of the other stars that we've got out there. So I have made those couple of changes. I've also taken Meunier out of the team and put Castagna in just because Meunier hasn't quite played at his best so far. And I'm hoping that Castagna will take his opportunity today and do a little bit better. So for the second group match against Russia today, we've got Courtois in goal, Castagna at right back, Faulon at left back, Denayer and Boyata in central defence, Dendoncker, Lokonga and De Bruyne in central midfield, Salimakis and Hazard on the wings, and Lukaku up top with pretty much everybody else on the bench. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So we're going with a fairly simple outstretched arms. If we play our game, you'll win. You're more than capable of it. We'll go into the tunnel, answer a couple of interview questions there. Romelu Lukaku takes the armband today. What do you see in him as a leader? I know I can rely on him to set the tone and ensure everybody's reaching the required standard out there. That's the one. Tielemans is actually my captain. I took it off Hazard and put it on Tielemans. I just felt a more balanced player in central midfield was a better choice, and Hazard could then freely go and think about just his own game, was my thought. But now we're down the pecking order a little bit because Tielemans has come out of the starting lineup. So that's why Lukaku is in there today. Your team selection has offered little by way of surprises today. Are you confident ahead of kickoff? My team picked itself, but it's a very strong team and we've got every chance of winning if we play the way we're capable of. That's what we need. Go through that. Let the players come out. All the national anthems play because it's an international tournament, of course. And then we get into the game. And let's see if we can properly put Russia to the sword, if possible, and get a few goals and start filling our boots a little bit and getting some confidence up. De Bruyne on the corner kick on the far side into a crowded box. Then Donker's going to pick up that loose ball and get a chance to put it back into the box. Back to Lokonga, one of our younger players in the squad that I've brought in. He gets a chance to put the cross in, but it doesn't quite get where we want it to. And it was Russia for a minute that looked a bit threatening, but couldn't quite manage to sort us out. And Hazard down the other end on a very quick counter-attack powers the ball straight at the goalkeeper, who again has to parry it out for a corner, which De Bruyne will take, of course, and De Bruyne will put it back into that 6-yard box. We're aiming for that near post more often than not, and on this occasion it didn't quite come about. We've got a couple of decent headers of the ball in that box for attacking the corners, the likes of Lukaku and a couple of central defenders, of course, but on that occasion didn't quite work. It's currently a fairly chilled out game, 16 minutes in. There's only been a couple of chances in the match, but we've had most of the better ones. And Salihamidzic comes into the box and again sweeps his shot narrowly. Well, it's not even narrow really, was it? It was quite wide. And again, we have that little bit of lack of quality just on the finish, unfortunately. And it's Russia who get into a chance in our box and sweep it over the top of the bar on that occasion. Yeah, they are still getting through, and that is our down point. That is our weak spot in our team, that sort of central defensive unit a little bit. So there's a cleared ball for Russia. They get to counter-attack on us and use a little bit of pace to get away from us. We're just about staying with him, and we are going to hold him up, are we? We aren't, but he chooses to shoot again from that narrow angle. Why people in Football Manager are still having to do that from that sort of angle, I don't get at all. Should have been cutting that one back. It's still a bit of an issue in the game engine, I think, personally. There's a good free kick. Cross comes in again, but we don't quite manage to get on the end of it. Fowlon gets the loose ball. He's got to hold on possession a little bit and wait for support. Doesn't quite manage it. And there is a fantastic through ball. Onside because he was in his own half, and he puts it away. And Russia go 1-0 up after 28 minutes from a mistake, really, for dwelling on the ball from Fowlon a little bit too long. He didn't receive the support and the options that he really needed. Nobody was busting a gut to get to him. And it was a good through ball just inside his own half, I think. So he was well onside. Oh dear, 28 minutes and we are struggling a little bit. We've had most of the possession, well, a little bit more possession. We've had a reasonable amount of chances, and so far you've seen that the quality in front of goal for us has not really been good enough at this point, and we need to up our game quite considerably in this second half. It looks like we're going to go potentially in at 1-0 down at half time. There's a few seconds left and there it goes. And you can see we did have more of the chances. We didn't put as many on target though, and that is where we have been suffering. But from their expected goals, their XG rating of 0.34, they got a goal from it, and have therefore have done brilliantly well for that. So we are going to absolutely tear them off a strip in this dressing room because it's not good enough. Thrash the arms about. I'm far from pleased with you. Get back out on the pitch. As soon as we do, we'll go into the shouts and demand more from them just to put them on the front foot. We're going to go out of positive mentality into attacking and really step on the front foot, hopefully get a few more chances in front of goal and try and put a couple of them away and rescue this match. It's still within our grasp to do so if we play our way, if we play our game. And just at the moment, 20 minutes into this first half, you can see that we have still absolutely not really done much at all. A good highlight opportunity here, though, for the first time in this second half at 63 minutes in. Castagna down the right-hand side, the overlapping fullback, gets a chance to cross in. There's Lukaku, and on the end of that little knock-on by Lukaku was Eden Hazard at the back post, and again he comes in with a goal. And that is a better bit of play down this right-hand side from Castagna. Holds the play really nicely. Then just manages to jink past the defender enough to get enough of a space on Lukaku with the knock-on from the header. Doesn't try and put it at goal himself, but puts it into the path of Hazard. And it's Hazard who gets that knock-in at that back post. Is he just onside or is he going to be given offside? He was given onside. That was a bit lucky. Little bit of an edge there, but at 68 minutes we're back in this match, and now you can begin to hopefully see the tide turning a little bit. Again, we've got the ball again. We've got another highlight at 69 minutes. Dendoncker again out to Castagna, in quickly to Salihamidzic, and the goalkeeper was completely in no man's land. Came out of the goal because he thought the ball was going to be crossed in deeper into that penalty box, and it wasn't in the end. It was put, and the goal is disallowed for offside, I think. Let's have a look at this. I thought that was really unlucky. How close was that? That was quite close, wasn't it, really? I thought they just about timed their runs properly. The goalkeeper was obviously in no man's land, but it was slightly offside. At 73 minutes in, we're going to make wholesale changes and get some fresh legs in and see if we can batter the door down in these last few minutes. Unfortunately, it's both De Bruyne and Hazard that are looking out on their feet a little bit. So we are going to replace both of them. Priat comes in and so does Torgan Hazard. So there's another Hazard to bring on. We've got several more changes we can make. Lokonga, unfortunately, the youngster, not having a particularly good game, so he'll come out and we'll put Tielemans in for that last little section of the game. I think our fullbacks are struggling a little bit to impact the game. I mean, you can see that Castagna put that original cross in. Faulon on that left-hand side, not doing brilliantly well, so Cobalt comes in. And are we going to take Castagna out? No, I think we'll leave him in because he is playing okay. I think we'll leave it there with 4 out of our 5 substitutes done, just in case we have any injury issues for the last few minutes. And then now we're going to go in again and fire them up this time for the last sort of 10-15 minutes of this match to see if we can find a way to break the deadlock and potentially nick the points at this moment in the game. But it is Russia on the ball, sweeping it from wide right to left. A good challenge by Castagna, but it only holds them up temporarily. They still keep the hold of the ball. And we have got back in our defensive shape. Can we find a way to get a foot in and nick the ball from them and counter-attack? It looks a good attack for Russia so far. Keeping the ball nicely. They've swept it again from left to right this time. Fernandez on that far side. Cobalt. What has he done on the edge of the box? The referee's going over to have a look at that. Is that inside the box or outside of the box? Your guess is as good as mine at this moment. It seemed to potentially be right on the line. Are they going to give that inside or not and give a penalty on the 81st minute? I think they might, you know. Are we going to be lucky? No penalty. We were very lucky. That is a very, very lucky decision. Right on the edge of the box. You can see where the ball is placed for the free kick. Inches outside of that far side of the penalty box. Russia with the chance to get a shot away. They do, but it's blocked. Can Lukaku hold up the play? He does possibly, but we don't see it. The highlight goes at that point. 5 minutes to go. And we are absolutely struggling to break them down. Again, we've had an absolute ton of shots at goal, but not enough quality in front of goal. And it looks like we're going to come up slightly short on this occasion. And bizarrely today, unfortunately for us, just after that one moment from Faulon who gave the ball away and it led to a goal. Other than that, it's our attacking force that have not shown up. And it is that has cost us this game. In the end, we get a point. Is it going to be good enough? I hope so. But it's not the 3 that we were looking for. Well, the reason that we're on this page specifically, as you'll no doubt see, the eagle-eyed amongst you, is that we have been given a really big opportunity here because in the other group game from today, Denmark played Finland and it was a 2-2 draw. So at the point where we drew against Russia, Denmark also drew and it keeps us both on 4 points. So there is a straight shootout pretty much between the two of us as to who will top the group in the third of our group matches. Now, obviously, the likes of Finland and Russia now play each other, and that could be an interesting one for whoever loses, if there's a loser in the Denmark-Belgium game, could possibly be in a little bit of trouble if one of those two teams fill their boots in that other game. So lots to play for in this next group match that will come up tomorrow in tomorrow's episode against Denmark. It's a little bit of a nervy one, I think, potentially. This group of players haven't quite played at the height that I would expect them yet. And we are going to make a couple of changes, and it's going to be in this area, not in personnel, but in terms of player styles, positions and roles. And we're going to take De Bruyne out of the shadow striker. It hasn't worked particularly, unfortunately. We are going to make him a supporting midfield player, get him more involved in the play. And we're going to switch Lukaku around and put him as the advanced forward and put him right on the last shoulder and see if he can make more of an impact that way. We're obviously going to rotate probably our stars back in terms of Tielemans and Carrasco. and see how they can impact the game as well. We might have to make 1 or 2 changes. Dendoncker, having played 2 games, looks out on his feet at the moment. We'll see what the powers of his recovery are. But that's for next episode. Today, it was a disappointing result from a slightly disappointing performance, really. We had all of the chances in terms of creating a fair few, and we didn't really take them, unfortunately. But see whether we can change that for tomorrow. So come and join me for that one. Remember, if you're in and around on a weekday afternoon, I'm now live over on Twitch as well, at twitch.tv/the United City FM. I'll be there 3 till 5 pretty much every day through the weekdays, UK time. So come and say hi and join me over there. It's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. There'll be another episode of the Belgian Boys Euro Trip tomorrow evening at 6:30 as usual, as we continue to go through this European Championships. So far, most of the way through the group, we're not doing fantastically, but if we can just get out, then ultimately the knockouts can be anybody's, can't they? And I still have confidence in this attacking group of players to get the job done. So come and join me next episode and see how we get on. Thank you for joining me today. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button on this particular episode. That'll help me get seen by lots more people. It helps the YouTube algorithms. Until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.